2 true creepy scary movie theater horror stories. Story 1. I've always loved the Scream movies ever since I was a kid. I always thought they were a fun concept that everybody took too seriously. But not after what happened a week ago. I'll never watch those movies again. My date and I were headed to the movies. Windows down, music playing loudly. It was a night to remember. I pulled into a parking space and helped Steph out of the car, linking arms as we walked into the theater. We were headed to watch a horror movie. Scream. Of course, the lights were dimmed, and people had taken their seats. Suddenly, I felt stiff and saw someone in a Scream mask lurking behind us. Don't be like that, Steph. You're just getting scared and you want to leave, I said. No, seriously, there's a guy in a Scream mask right behind you. Johnny, turn around. Come on, forget it. Steph, you're not gonna trick me, I replied. Laughter. She laughed and seemed to give up on getting me to turn around. However, I couldn't help but turn around a bit, just to see what Steph was talking about. In the top row of the theater was a man wearing a Scream outfit and holding a large silver knife. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up as I looked at him. He was looking straight at us and laughing. I started laughing as I looked at him. I couldn't help it. I turned to Steph and whispered to her, "Come on, Steph, that's just a cosplayer. You know, a fan of the movie." A cosplayer? Yeah, it's someone who dresses up as a character they really like. You know, nerd stuff. He's about as dangerous as a DD player. Suddenly, we heard screams coming from the back row. We both spun around and saw a bloody body lying on the floor, and the man in the Scream mask standing right next to it, his knife covered in blood. I jumped out of my seat and grabbed Steph's hand, and we ran towards the exit. We reached the door, but it was locked. We shouted for help, but all we heard were screams coming from outside. Suddenly, the door opened, but it wasn't someone who had come to help us. Another man wearing a Scream mask. We ran back up the stairs and barricaded ourselves in the projection room. "What's going on, Johnny? What's happening?" Steph asked. "I don't know, Steph. Just help me put this chair in front of the door." We heard a loud crash followed by several bangs on the door. The man with the knife had broken it down and was advancing on us. Suddenly, a sharp blade flew through the air and cut that psycho. I screamed and ran to the window, tears streaming from my eyes. Before I could do anything, there was another blade coming at me. I dodged it and ran out of the window. I ran out of the theater, ignoring the bodies strewn over the floor. As I did, I had to escape. I jumped in my car and turned the key to start. I drove right to the nearest police station and reported what had happened. The police came to investigate, and when they got there, the theater was empty. All that remained were the bodies of Steph and the other people. "Come with us, son. We have some questions for you," one of the officers said. "What for? What do you want me to say?" "We just have to make sure you didn't have any motive. You have the right to remain silent." I was taken away, my heart racing as they interrogated me. Eventually, however, they grudgingly let me go, and I drove away, still feeling a cold, piercing pain in my heart as I thought of Steph. As I was driving home, I realized there was a way to solve this mystery: security footage. If the killer had been caught on camera, he could finally be brought to justice. Yes, I can get them. I can get revenge. My heart raced with excitement, but that quickly turned to terror as I saw a car with dark windows following me. I stepped on the gas and tried to lose them, and I was almost safe when suddenly I felt a bump behind me. There was no use. They had caught up with me. I had crashed the car and tried to make a run for it, but I slipped and fell. As I turned around, I saw another man in a scream mask walking towards me. This is a nightmare. Out of nowhere, police cars appeared. Get down. This is the police. The man in the scream mask turned and began to run, but the police were quick. He was immediately tackled and arrested. Apparently, the police thought the killer would want to finish the job, and they were right, I guess. Still, there's something that's been bugging me, and I'm not really sure if I'll ever get over it. The killer they caught was a nasty man, a serial killer who had been inspired by the Scream movies and had been terrorizing movie theaters around the country. Steph and all those people in the theater are dead because some maniac wanted to live out his horror movie. And I feel guilty. I'll never watch a Scream movie again. That's not the only thing that's been bugging me, though. And the other thing is even scarier. The police did manage to apprehend the man in the Scream mask, but there were two at the theater. If the man had wanted to finish the job, then what about the other one? I'm petrified of the thought of them still out there, waiting for their next opportunity, if they're still after me, trying to finish the job. Story 2. I recently went to watch Scream 6 alone. I booked a corner seat with an orange Slurpee. It was a late-night show, so there were only a handful of people in the movie theater. My eyes were fixed on the screen when I noticed a girl sitting in the same row. She was highly overweight and had a tub of popcorn on her lap. The way she was eating it made me cringe. Her mouth opened into a black hole, and she devoured thousands of popcorn pieces with each bite. Some popcorn fell on her lap, some on her stained t-shirt, and a few even hung on her locks, but nothing stopped her from eating. Suddenly, a skinny man came and sat beside her. And that's when things started to get weirder. The skinny dude looked like a stick next to a blob of flesh. Together, they were an unimaginable sight, and so was their conversation. You want more? Yes, yes, give me more. But it won't be free. I will do anything. But I don't think you'll be able to do that. The girl started stomping her feet like a 9-year-old. No, I can. I will. Just feed me. A cruel smile appeared on the man's face. He took out a candy bar from his pocket and started swinging it in front of the girl's face. The moment the girl saw it, her eyes went wide, her mouth started to drool, and she stuck out her tongue, panting like a dog. What the hell is happening with these two? I thought. I was feeling extremely uncomfortable yet couldn't help but watch them. The man leaned in to kiss her, and I guess he succeeded because he gave her the candy bar. The girl acted like a hungry walrus. It was clear to me that this man was taking advantage of the girl's weakness for food. During the intermission, they both got up, and the man said, "Let's go somewhere where we can be alone." Will there be food? Yes, yes, just come. They got up to leave, and I decided to follow them. I wanted to help the girl if the man gave her any trouble. I watched them walk to the parking lot, and the man and the girl got into a red pickup van and drove away. I was behind them on my scooter, maintaining a safe distance. After 5 minutes, they stopped near a graveyard. A graveyard? Really? The skinny dude was a hell of a creep. It took time for the girl to get down from the car. I heard the man yell, "Come on, move your heap of flesh faster." The girl refused. "Where are my chicken nuggets? You said you had chicken nuggets." "I said you'll get it once you make me happy." "No, give me my chicken nuggets first." The man lost his temper. "I didn't bring a loser like you here to just feed your pathetic self. Now sit here and do what you're supposed to. I'm leaving." The man grabbed her hand. She pushed him away, and the man fell like a twig. Realizing the girl was stronger than him, he got furious. He grabbed a stone from the ground and came at her. "I'll kill you, you witch!" I couldn't remain quiet anymore. I jumped from the bush, screaming, "Amy, he's behind you!" What happened next was not planned. Amy turned back and grabbed the man's arm with which he was holding the stone. She started twisting it. "Do you know what my favorite sound is?" The man screamed. "Ah, let me go." The sound of bones cracking. Amy broke his arm, and the man let out a spine-chilling scream. He fell to the ground with terror in his eyes. He looked at me, and I slapped him hard on his right cheek. "Oh, so now something is wrong with us? What about you, you skinny freak? What was in your mind when you agreed to go on a movie date with a giant? You're so pathetic that you prey on girls like her, thinking she will fall into your lap because she would have no self-esteem. Isn't that what you thought? Please, let me go. I'll never." "It's too late for you now, Mr. Slenderman." I threw the lollipop at Amy, and she grabbed it with her teeth. "Amy, put him to sleep. I'll check his car for valuables we can sell tomorrow." 3 robberies in 1 week. Not bad. If you keep helping me like this, I promise I'll buy you the biggest fridge in the world and fill it with all your favorite foods. I will help you. I want to help. Amy shifted her burning eyes to the man. The man started to crawl back, screaming for help. "No, no, please, let me go. Please, no." I came back to the red pickup van and made everything mine. The man's screams faded into the dark sky, and Amy came back. Her clothes were stained in blood, but her entire attention was on the lollipop. I put my little sister in the passenger seat and left the scooter behind the bush. It was also stolen, so no harm. As we drove onto the empty highway, Amy asked, "Will we go back to the same movie theater tomorrow?" I caressed her cheek and nodded. "Yes,